40 minutes because I have a meeting at 1.
And that's okay. I've had these things go for an hour, for 2, for 3, for half an hour, doesn't matter. I had one go for 20 minutes, so it's Frazzle Dazzle Mom from TikTok. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great. This is the very unorthodox, low budget, not the brightest crayon. That's what this is.
It's right where I belong. It's right where I
Oh,
belong. Low
this is
budget is
actually
my game.
right. Oh yeah, same here. If you want to, I like you can't flip the camera, but if you want to see where I sit, so this is actually where I work. This is my comfortable like Blue's Clues work chair, and then I watch that in between phone calls, and
Oh,
that's what I do. So
that's
when I'm not,
fantastic.
I wear my headphones and I take phone calls. Sometimes I deal with shit people, and in between those calls, I'm like, "What's on TV?" And that's my life.
What do you
That's what I
do?
do. I
What do you do?
an at-home call center. That's what I do. But instead of just like doing the online chat shit, which is what I wish I was doing, I actually have to listen to them. I'd rather read them whining, but I have
Yeah,
to
because
listen to them whining.
inflection makes all the difference in any conversation.
Yes. Like I spoke to the guest I had on yesterday, does the exact
Mhm.
same thing I do, but it's all texting. It's all typing on the chat forms. I was like, I'm so jealous because you don't have to listen to them. Like they can say whatever they want, but you don't have to hear it. You can just like, oh,
Mhm.
okay, they're dropping the F bomb. Cool. Can I help you? Like, oh, sorry, there was a glitch in my internet. I didn't catch that. Can you type that out again? Like,
How many times can you say that in one conversation?
right? What do you do?
I am a billing manager. I am a paralegal, and I
Oh,
am part-time IT for a law firm.
there you go. You
Yeah,
got a lot of hats.
I do, and I am actually training to become the firm manager in the next like 2 years. So
Nice.
yeah, it's
Now,
I work a lot.
are all of these for the same company? All these hats, or are they different? Oh, okay, awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I found a niche in when it comes to my work life. I can't find a niche anywhere else in my world, but in my work life, I am amazing at what I do. And so they
Hey,
just keep piling more shit on me. They're like, "Hey, you're really good at this. Once you've mastered that, why don't you try and take on this too? Now we'll take that away and give you this to learn, but we'll just dump this on you too." So it's
yeah.
I'm the dumper is what I
Hey, you know what? If you can handle it and they pay you well for it, why not? Keep going.
That's the
Keep
thing.
going.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
don't overstretch yourself. Don't
I
let them.
actually
You got to know
well,
when to say no.
exactly. I took on another office. We let go of another legal assistant, and I took on another office. So now, on top of everything that I do, I had to add another 6 attorneys and an entire office onto that. So
Ah,
yeah, but
yeah.
I get overtime, so I can't really complain.
True. It just like it. You know how much overtime is enough. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah,
I got it. I
yeah, no.
actually, I actually cut down my hours. Um, it's really weird. It's one of those. It's a lazy problem, I think, because I sit in a chair all day. I mean, this is my job. I don't get up and walk around. Compared to my last job, this is cake. This is absolutely nothing. But I'll still be like, oh, I've been sitting here all day. Like, dude, just stop, stop, just stop. Like, I've got one of the greatest jobs that I've ever had in my life. I am home. I get to interact with my children. I know what they're doing. I'm not afraid for their safety, and I'm still like, like, dude, don't, don't do that. But
Are your are your kids in school?
oh, all of them, yes.
Okay.
So I'm actually alone in the house right now. So
Okay.
my wife went to work because she works outside the house like I used to, and all the kids are in school. We've got four, and they're all in school. So I'm alone with the animals, but the cats are out on the front porch and the dogs are out back. So I'm alone in the house right now,
You are
completely.
alone.
It's so weird.
Well, but it's gotta be a nice feeling though, because like you probably don't get too much of that time.
Uh, no. No,
Really?
no, like the absolute silence. I don't get hard. Like I think this is probably the first, which is why it feels so weird.
You know, people that have a hard time, that's a trait of a psychopath. You know that, right? People that can't really be in silence.
Oh, I know I'm a psychopath. I'm I know I'm a psychopath. I'm very aware of that. I've been married I've been married twice. I've been with my current wife for 9 years. I have 4 children. I have 6 animals, and I do everything all by myself because I don't like distributing work to other people. I am fully aware that I'm a psychopath.
Oh,
That's
so
not even
you
I
can't
don't
even
even.
delegate.
No, not really. Like I do delegate chores to my kids because I want to teach them responsibility, but I'm one of those where it's like, oh, come on, just let me do it, get out of the way. Um, so it's like a perfectionist kind of thing, and myself so busy that I can hardly breathe, and then I'm like, ah, like, but I don't take it out on anyone else but me. I think that's the best part. I don't lash out. Like my day is bad, so I'm gonna make it worse for you. I don't do that. I keep it all in here, which is
Uh,
another sign of a psychopath.
yeah,
We
you're
don't,
internalizing it.
yeah, we don't express. So, oh yeah, no, I'm fully aware. You're not breaking any new ground with me. I know the decisions that I have made in my life. I'm like, yep, let's check that one off. Like, yeah,
Do
if
you
you
do you
gave,
have a list of bad decisions?
oh yeah, yeah, I don't nostalgic about them or anything. There are a few of the bad decisions that were really good at the time. Where I'm like, huh, I wonder how that would have turned out. But I don't dwell on them. I just kind of open up the window and let them fly out. But yeah, it's
That's a good way to
this is
be.
kind of feeling like a therapy session. What's going on here?
You know, so I'll be totally honest with you. That is when I first talk with people, that initial awkward kind of like weird, like, how is this going to work? Are we going to vibe well? Like, how's it, am I going to talk over him? Is he going to talk over me? It usually almost always ends up in a therapy session. Like with me, I don't get it. I don't know if that's what I project out to the other person, but it's almost always like this.
That's no, it's all right. It's all right. Just yeah, yeah. It's okay. You pointed out something that I already knew, and I was like, let's embellish a little bit. So
Yeah.
it's all right. It's okay.
Well, and I'm the one, and I will be because I'm honest to a fault, and that is how I have been my whole life. And you too, yeah. See, and I will call people out, and I'll be nice about it, but I will still call people out, and I will just I'll pin you down. I will pin you down until I get an answer because it's and most of the time the answer is not for me, it's for you or for whomever. But
Right.
yeah, that's how
You
I am.
you want to know the truth? I find it difficult to believe every day that I'm still married. And it's not that I'm an outward asshole. It's that I'm too honest. But my
Oh,
wife is amazing because she gives it right back. Like we take pot shots at each other, so she gives it right back to me. And she's too honest for her own good too. So we mesh well. But I mean, when we disagree, and it's very loud and animated. It doesn't get violent, thank God, but it's very
that's good.
loud and it's very animated. She is a Jersey girl, so I deal with
Oh,
that. Yeah, that well-rooted attitude. Yeah,
hmm
yeah, it's
hmm
fun. And
where are you from originally?
oh Jesus, everywhere. I was born in New Hampshire, but I have lived everywhere. Like I basically lived in snow for 26 years.
Mm.
So, I mean, everywhere, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts. Now I'm down in Florida. Thank God. Got away from that crap. But I lived in the snow for a while, and then I joined the military and was in warm weather for 3 years. And then had to go home to the snow and was like, I can't do this. Why am I still here? Um, but yeah, she's from Jersey. When
Oh,
she when she moved up to New Hampshire, that's where we met.
okay.
But like
Okay. What?
her, what's up?
Well, I was going to ask what branch you were in.
Air Force.
Oh, what did you do?
I worked on the flight line. Yeah. And,
Really?
yeah.
My ex-husband was in the Air Force, and he too worked on the flight line.
Nice.
Yeah.
2T2 represent. Yeah. There we go. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That
So how
that
long were you
that
in for?
oh, 3 years.
Oh, okay.
It was actually, I don't know if this is accurate, but it's what I was told. And of course, you get lied to when you join the military anyway. So I was kind of expecting it. But in 2008, when I joined air transportation, which is what your ex did, was brand new in 2008. So it got super saturated with recruits. We had so many people in that field, way too many actually. So we became, if someone else needed help, they came to us, which was kind of cool and not at the same time because you never knew what they were going to pluck you for. Like, hey,
Yeah.
we need you to do this. Okay. And we couldn't say no because it's not like, no, they need me. Like, no, dude, you've got way too many people. Come on, let's go. You couldn't say no. I mean, it made things interesting. I can't say that. My military life was not that fun. I think the funnest time I had was boot camp. And
Really?
then yeah, and then the rest of it was very boring because I was actually going to go be a Marine. Like, I've got the Marine mentality. Um, I was raised in a military family. My dad and my uncle were Army. My grandpa was Marine, so I had that like drive. And then I joined the Air Force because I became a new father, and they have the shortest deployment times. And I knew I was going to want to go overseas, and I wanted to be in my kid's life. So I was like, I'm not going to be a Marine. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, 18-month deployment. Cool. Come home, get off a plane, hug my kid, get on another plane. Like, I couldn't do that. So I went Air Force, but I was really bored. I was
Yeah.
so bored. Oh my God. It was so slow, and it's weird. That's the psychopath thinking. It was too safe. Who the hell says that? It was too safe.
Yeah, a psychopath says that. Most people crave security and safeness.
Nope.
That's what
I
the normal population wants.
I do with my kids.
Yeah, of course.
They're safe and it's calm and it's boring here at the house, but internally I'm like, give me something to do. Like, the job that I did before this was dangerous, and I miss it every day. And the
What'd
only
you do?
reason that I work traffic control here on the hot streets of Florida.
Oh.
So the people that go out there and set up the traffic cones and the warning signs and hold that stop slow, the people you
Mm.
want to run over because they're ruining your day, that's what I used to do.
Yeah, except when you see those big billboards on the side of the road that says "Slow down, my daddy works here," like that shit gets you. So they did real good with the advertising of that,
Yeah,
But
that hits you in the feels, but
yeah,
unfortunately, my company did not deploy those. Uh,
um,
the one I worked for did not deploy those. The company that I worked for was like, "Hey, here's your equipment. Go on. Like, you know that they're doing like 70 on this road, right? We don't care. Go set it up." Okay. Like, all right.
do you have any crazy stories to tell from that? Because like I picture Florida, and Florida man, the whole
Oh yeah.
mentality, the whole, so like I picture Florida man, and I like my brain says that you had like alligators and crocodile just like walking up to you like in the middle of the freeway and shit like that. Like that's what my brain thinks, like weird shit, or like people on meth, running around butt ass naked and
Uh, the first part, no. If we were working anywhere near water, I'd see one crawl up, but like we had the guardrail and we weren't worried about it. If you don't bother them, they don't bother you. And normally they eat in the water. So if you're up on the hot asphalt, they're going to leave you alone unless you're like throwing rocks at it like an idiot. The second one, however, yeah. That when we were in like Orlando, yeah, meth addicts galore, fucking
mm.
everywhere. And of course, we are trying to control, 6 to 8 lanes of high speed traffic. And these guys are just walking across the road, all zombie like. And then the traffic would be stopped at a red light, and they'd be going window to window going, "Can I have money?" and they're like walking in between cars that are coming to a stop. And it's like, are we gonna have to pick up a body today? Thankfully,
Oh,
thankfully that never happened. I had to deal with car accidents a lot, but I never had to deal with like a dead or dying person. Thank God, because it was a lot. I worked there for 2 years, 10 hours a day, all over
jeez.
Florida, and I mean everywhere, all over Florida. I went
Mm.
everywhere. I'd go 2 hours in one direction. I'd go 3 hours in one direction. But I had a company vehicle, so it was fine.
Oh, that
I,
works.
I was
Yeah.
I was using their vehicle. I was using their gas, so I didn't care.
Yep.
Um, I mean, I moved up there, and then when I got the white hat, where I was actually maintaining 10 crews instead of one, I finally got to witness firsthand the inner workings of how the company was, and I was like, I'm out, guys. I can't do this anymore.
Really?
Yeah, because like I was one of those ambitious, brand new, would hear a complaint in the field and go, oh yeah, I know what that's about. But then I'm a white hat now, so I'd go to the office and say, hey, can we do anything about this? And I would take that complaint to the office 4 or 5 times, and nothing would happen. Or I would take a complaint to the office, and then the reaction that I got was like, we don't care. Like, okay,
Oh.
well, I'm gonna leave now. Like I couldn't do it,
Guess I'll just go fuck myself.
Yeah, basically, like I don't fan of people lie. I think I've got one friend who comes to my house, and that's it. And then other than like talking to you, which is awesome, I don't post videos on TikTok anymore. Um, when I decided to bring this podcast back and start having guests on, I went to my message board. That's how I started talking to everybody. But I don't post videos anymore. And my best friend of 19 years lives in Connecticut, so I never see him. So it's like one person, then my wife and my kids. But when I'm at a job and I'm in charge of people, it's a whole different dynamic. Like I don't have to like them. I just have to take care of them.
Mhm.
So it becomes a whole different thing. And it was really weird, like the connection. It was really weird because I'm coming to the site. Everyone says that I'm a nice and cool and chill supervisor, and I'm like, okay, well, you don't really know me, but I'm just doing my job. And they would try talking to me, and I'm like, look, this no, if it's not work related, don't just don't do it. Because I don't like, if you're crying, I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna ask you about your day because I need you to be 100% out here for safety reasons. Um, but otherwise, don't. I don't care that you didn't have coffee this morning. I don't care that you stubbed your toe while walking your dog. Just don't do it. don't, don't, just don't come up and do that, please.
It's funny to me because
Are you the
it's
same
so
way?
relatable. It's
Are
so
you?
relatable because we so my firm, we have 6 offices, right? We have 6 offices, and they're all of them are revolving doors for assistants, for attorneys, for the PM staff, receptionists, whatnot. So I mean, literally like every 6 months, and people will, and I've been there for 5 years, and so I'm one of the senior, if you will, employees of the company, which is insane to me because how only 5 years, but yet somehow I'm a fucking senior employee. um but these people will come in and they're all, and so I'll be 40 this year, and so they're all like in their early 20s, and like late 20s, early 30s, and they're talking, and they want to ring me on the phone, and hey Veronica, and then they ask a question, and then they want to shoot the shit, and they're like, oh yeah, I went to this bar last night, and I'm literally like, and I will tell them I don't care. I don't care. And they're like, oh, I thought you were a nice person. No, I am a nice person, I just don't give a shit. And I will flat out tell them that. I cannot tell you how many people have complained to HR about me and said, Veronica's not very nice to me. And my HR lady, she goes, do you know Veronica? She's not nice to anybody.
Like, she wants to do her job and be done. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm not there to make friends.
right? Yeah, no, not at all. I think the one of the funniest things that I ever heard was literally field knew how I operated so well, I didn't even have to say anything. Like, that's the best part. I'm sure you have people that do that for you too. Like, they'll come up and like, why is he being so mean today? Did you try talking to him? And that's the question. Because if the answer is yes, that's why he reacted that way.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure you have people that have that for you too. Like, did you try talking to her? Because that's the problem.
Yeah. Maybe you should fucking leave her alone.
Right? Like, if
Yeah,
it's not
no,
work related, walk away.
exactly. Like there's one person in the firm that and she just happens to be my best friend. And we did not become close until I started working there. I knew her prior to this. Like I in groups that we had hung out with years ago before I had my kid. Um, and so, we're talking like 13, 14 years ago. And so when I came in to interview for the first job, she was sitting there and she was like, I like your purse. And I was like, I like your face. And she was like, do I know you? And I was like, yeah, you fucking know me. I was like, we used to get drunk together on the weekends. And she was like, oh my God. And so then, of course, our friendship picked right back. And so she's the only one. Like and they see me, people in my own office see me interact with her. And then they see how I interact with everyone else. And they're like, are you bipolar? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Because you're totally different with Jill, but yet you're a bitch to everyone else.
It's like, well, the difference is I know her and I knew her before I started this job, and I don't know you. That's all. That's
Exactly.
the answer right there. There's nothing further is needed. How much of your job is at home? Do you work at
Um,
home?
No, technically, no. I can work from home if I want to, but I am more productive if I'm in the office. So
Yeah.
I take a day or two every week and work from home. But most of the time, I'm in the office from 8:30 to 5:30, 8:30 to 6, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then most nights I come home and I work more from home because I just have so much shit to do. But with the two offices now, I have to travel 2 days a week, an hour and a half away to the other office that I picked up. So it's a whole mess of fuckery right now that I'm just trying to hammer out. But yeah, because I've been with the firm for so long, they give me my job can be done from home 100%. I don't ever need to be in an office, but I
Yeah.
function better in that environment.
Yeah.
And at home, like this morning, I did the dishes. I did a load of fucking laundry. Like I played with the cat I played with that cat. I have an actual cat
Yeah.
for a while. I, I needed to clarify because if anybody sees this and they see my shit on TikTok, they're going to be like, wait, what?
Which cat?
Exactly.
No, I have an actual cat. It's alive and I feed it.
Oh, fantastic. Just end it now. Just end it now. That was the
Oh, God, that's awesome.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I function so much better in an office environment where it's structured, whereas at home, there's no one watching me. I can do whatever the fuck I want to do. If I want to go take a nap, I can go take a nap. I mean,
Yeah.
so it's nice to have that freedom, but it's also a very humbling and maturing freedom to have because I have to make that decision when I'm at home. Like, do I want to sit on the couch and watch TV all day, or do I want to actually do my job and get paid?
Right.
Some days that's not an easy decision. I'm not gonna lie.
No, it's not. That's and again, it's one of those hard to complain things that I was talking about before because it's not that easy to do. Like, my bed is 10 feet that way, and the couch that I sack out on is right behind me. Literally,
Uh-huh.
like the couch is a U shape, and this chair sits in the cove of it. So
Oh,
that way and that way are my couch. Like,
so
the
you
part
could
that
just like,
literally I could just, yeah. So I've got my computer right here on this table, this makeshift desk. Plug it in over there, put my headphones on, and I go to work. But it's one of those things where it's like, do I even want to work today?
Mhm.
But then I want to say the hardest part is the kids come home from school, and I'm very in tune with their lives. So I want to immediately go on break and start talking to them, but I can't because I may have already taken my break, or it's not time to take it yet, or I'm too busy to take it. So then I have to just kind of like flag them off because it's supposed to be quiet, which yeah, it's never quiet here. So I don't know how I don't get in trouble with my phone calls because they are recorded and they're listened to for QA. And it's always noisy. I don't know how I don't get in trouble. It's always noisy. Always. There's never a dull moment here. I get when I start working at 9 a.m. I do 10-hour days. So with breaks in between where I work until about 8 p.m. So it's an 11-hour day with a 10-hour shift, a couple breaks in
Mm.
between.
Mhm.
And they get home from school at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh,
So from
jeez.
then until 8, it's loud, loud. All the kids coming out going, "Hey, Dad, can't talk right now. I'm working." But you'd pick that up on the headphones, or I'm listening to them play in their bedrooms. And but like I never hear like, "Hey, it was loud on that call. You need to." Nope. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna keep doing it then. Like I don't, I don't fucking care.
I I mean,
I'm
at
just
that
gonna.
point, yeah, what are they gonna say? I mean, how long have you been at this job?
I don't even know anymore. If you want
Oh,
to know the
okay.
truth.
Long
Uh,
time.
no, no, not even that long at
Oh.
all. 5, 6 months maybe. I
Oh,
think.
okay. Okay.
But I went through a temp agency and then I got hired on permanent, and then I went to a different kind of crew with the same team lead. Like I tried actually being a lead at this job, and I couldn't do it because it's so
Mhm.
much different than the last one. Because this one, since everyone works at home, everybody works at home from the CEO on down. Everybody works at home. It's an
Oh, wow.
at-home based job. Yeah, it's at home based. There is no office. So, in order to make sure everyone's doing what they're supposed to be doing, you have to schedule weekly meetings with them and go on to a portal with them and discuss everything that's been going on, the good, the bad, the ugly, the praise, the, wagging all that crap.
Yeah.
And it felt too much like I was being a babysitter. It felt too much like if I wanted to run a daycare center, I would just start one at my house. I already have 4 kids. I just need a couple more. Um, so like I stepped down. I was like, I can't do that. It's too much. Like when I was a supervisor at the other job, I did not have to go out into the field and be like, "Hey, it's Monday, let's talk." Like, no, just if they were having an issue, I went up and spoke to them. Otherwise, I walked away, took my pictures, and left them. Because the thing that I knew prior to taking that job was when they see the white hat, they get nervous. It doesn't matter who it is. They immediately get nervous. Like, am I standing correctly? Am I being safe? Is it set up? Am I going to get talked to? Blah, blah, blah. So the best thing that I could do is go click, 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 peace, see ya. And then
Yeah.
whew,
Mhm.
everything was great. He didn't even talk to me. So when I have to set up these weekly meetings, I'm like, you guys don't want to talk to me. You just have to. Like,
Yeah.
why am I doing this? No.
Exactly.
One of my meetings, we sat and stared at each other the whole time because like I didn't have anything to say. They didn't have anything to say. The first thing I was like, I really don't have anything to say to you. You're doing great. Like all last week, you're doing great. Nothing negative. The positive is you're doing great. Your scores are all good. Your QAs are all good. Do you have any questions? No? Okay, we'll go take a break. We'll turn our cameras off and we'll come at the end of the meeting and we'll say bye and that'll be it. Like that was the whole friggin' meeting. It was just 20 minutes of like, I'm gonna turn my camera off and walk away. I don't have to say anything. And it was
Yeah.
great, but and then on the flip side, there was one person where every single meeting there was something wrong. So it was always good or it was always bad. There was nothing in between. I just got tired of doing it. And when they started me out as the trainer or as the lead, I only had 7 people, and the teams grow to 20 people. So I was like, if I'm having this kind of anxiety with 7, no, I'm gonna go now. And
Yeah,
then I
for
went back to
sure.
regular calls. I went back to went back to regular calls, And then of course that thing of, oh, I wasn't good enough, so I stepped down. And then my calls started to suffer for a little bit. And then I finally picked myself back up. And and to be honest, like, I don't need hours a week or overtime. I honestly don't. Financially, I don't need it. My wife works, I work, but neither of us do 40. We don't need it. We're very like inexpensive, cheap people. We don't need it. Um, and 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 to be honest, and I think it's part of the reason is from how we raise the kids. They don't have electronics. I'm not paying phone bills for the children. My 14-year-old daughter does not have a cell phone. The only computer in the house is mine that I do work on, and we have one, two, three, four TVs that are different age. Like, that's the biggest screen that we have right there. That's probably the youngest TV, and then it's super old, little older, fucking ancient. Because like my daughter has a box TV. Have you seen a projector
Oh,
screen TV in a while? And
no.
the really tiny ones. That's what she has in her room. Like, you want a
Oh my
TV? Here you
God.
go. Here's a 36-year-old TV. There you go. And it works, and she likes it. It's like they don't play video games. They don't do any of that shit. So it keeps the bills down. So I think that's why we don't have to work so hard. You know,
Yeah.
we're not strained financially because we're not paying outward for a whole bunch of shit that really isn't necessary. Um, so I was working 40, and then they developed a weekend team: Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I was like, well, those are the days that I work anyway, and I don't have to do 40. I can do 40 if I want 40. I can do 40, but I don't have to do 40 anymore. Like, I don't have that restraint. So I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it. So, now I do, I think, 30 hours a week, and I'm fine with it. I've got 3-4 days off a week where I can focus on the kids, focus on the house, focus on the animals, do shit like this.
Yeah, really.
Oh man, it's awesome. And it's
That
not
is.
bragging either, because I'm missing out. I am missing out from what I make an hour on hundreds of dollars a week. And my brain is going, you know what you could be doing with that? And then the other part of my brain is going, yeah, but you just wasted on dumb shit. So it's kind of a blessing, actually. Yeah. Like, it would either
No.
be me, or my wife who would see that extra money and be like, hey, we don't need this, right? Gobble it up and go spend it on shit we don't need. And
Yep.
so it's like, why even work for it? Just fuck it.
I know. Speaking of which, I think I just got an Amazon package delivered.
Hey, I love Amazon.
Oh my God. You know what it probably is? It's probably some shit for the cat too. That's what I
Real
spend my
cat,
money
right?
on.
You're a real cat.
My real cat, yeah, not
The
this cat.
animal. Yeah, the animal cat. Yeah. We got to
His name
clarify
is
that again.
Larry.
Oh, okay.
His name is Larry.
You got something from Amazon for Larry the
Yes.
cat. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, you can't
Not
buy the
Larry the
other.
lobster.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you can.
You can buy the other stuff from Amazon, but my kid shares my Amazon account, so they don't need to see those purchases. Mom, what is this device? Well, honey, you see.
Like, well, that's gonna take a couple of drinks, conversation, and some scheduled therapy. So let's do this. Let's get this done.
You are not wrong. Oh,
Like,
that poor child.
let's just get this over with.
Yeah, okay. Sit down, buckle up.
God, I am
Oh my
dreading
God.
those talks. Like, my oldest daughter's 14, but she's also stage 1 autistic. So she's I don't really have to have that talk with her yet because she's not having those feelings yet, but she started her period. And I'm
Oh,
like, when do I have this talk with her? Or do I let her mom do it? Like, I don't even know the boundary on that. I know with my boy, with my son, I'm gonna sit him down and be like, hey, look, fucking wrap that thing, because you're not bringing any girls to my door saying, hey, oops, No, that shit ain't happening. You wrap that shit.
Yep.
But with
Yeah.
my daughters, I don't even know if it should be me having that conversation.
So my kid was born female. So I have a daughter, but because of social media and the way of the world, we are transgender, we are gender fluid, our pronouns change daily, those sorts of things. And I just kind of sit back because I don't fucking understand half of it. And
No.
I support it. I support
Oh,
you
absolutely.
finding you and being who you are. That's all I want. I want you to be happy. But
Yeah.
I literally sit back and I'm like, okay, what the fuck ever. But as a mom having a female born daughter, I would personally, it would kind of weird me out if her dad was like, hey, let's have the sex talk, and I'd be like, whoa, hell, hold up, you don't get it because you don't have a vagina. I have
Yeah.
a vagina. They have a vagina right now. They maybe in 10 years they'll have a penis, but right now they got a vagina. So
Yeah.
let me,
Yeah.
so that's what I would say would be, let me handle that because it's a female to female conversation. But
Absolutely.
thankfully, thanks again to social media, they already know what sex is. They already know about safe sex. They already know about all of the ins and outs. They teach me things. My child will be 13 in April, and she teaches me. I didn't know what a furry was. I'd never heard the term furry before.
I
You don't know?
either. No, I'm not sure I
Okay.
want to.
So don't Google it. I'm going to just tell you right now because there are some things, as I'm sure you cannot unsee, right?
Yeah.
So there are people that like to dress up in head to toe animal costumes, like full, like those, like Chuck E. Cheese kind of, Chucky the mouse, like
Like Wookiee?
straight up, yeah.
Chewbacca?
And they have big
Oh,
old
God.
sex parties and stuff, but they're called furries. And so, like, bunnies, mice, dogs, cats,
Oh, dear God.
squirrels, yeah, it's a whole thing. And I'm like, how did you find out about that? Well, I was searching blah 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 on the internet and I came across a page and I'm like, oh my God, I thought I had set you thought I set parental controls right. I guess I did.
Apparently not.
But that was an interesting conversation, needless to say, with the 12-year-olds of, Mom, how do you not know what a furry is?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's one of those things, and it's like that age-old joke where like you're sitting down with them and saying, "Hey, let's have the sex talk," and 20 minutes later, you're writing shit down. Like, wait a minute, that's a thing?
I know, like we had this conversation last night where I asked, because I make it a daily question in the mornings, what gender are you feeling today? What are your, what pronouns are you feeling? So I can know and I can respect them. Outside of this house and close friends and family, I don't give a shit who they have to deal with because you've made this decision. You can fucking deal with it. Like, I'm not going to be there to pick up the pieces. Like, this is your choice. But I try and respect it. And so I asked last night, I'm like, so who were you feeling more today? Because it's ridiculous. There are like 5 different names and every name has different pronouns and it's got a different, like they feel masculine or they feel feminine. And I don't get it. I'm a female. I have a vagina. I have tits. I'm a fucking female. I'm feminine. That's what I am.
Yeah.
So I said last night, I was like, so, what are, whatever, what are you feeling today? Or how did you feel today? And she's like, well, I felt very gender fluid, but very transgender too. And I'm like, I literally had to sit this child down and say, you need to write this out for me because none of that fucking makes sense.
No.
None of it makes sense to me. And I'm not old school in any way. I'm not like, you know how I'm sure your parents were probably the same way where you're male, you're straight, that's how it is. And because that's our generation, that's how we were raised. That's how they were raised. And and so for me, and it's not that I'm closed off to it, but it's just that my brain can't comprehend it because
no, not at all.
I literally was like, here's I'm gonna make a chart and you're gonna write in these boxes what means what, so I can fucking understand, because I don't
Yeah.
get it. I just don't get it. But yeah, it's just that it's and again, it's not a non-supportive thing. It's just I can't grasp it. I can grasp a lot of concepts and a lot of things, but that is just not something I can.
That's not one of them. And like,
No.
and same thing here. I mean, like I have 4, but I mean, and like they don't push it on them in school, which is fine. Like my job, when I went to set up my profile, was like, do your pronouns. No, my pronouns are just, I don't care. Literally, like when I'm on a phone call, I have that customer service voice, which is not this voice. It's a higher pitch and it's friendlier. Believe it or not, it's friendlier. But I've been called ma'am. I don't give a shit. I don't correct them because I just don't care. Like I know who I am and I know what I am. And some older people will be like, yes, ma'am. I'm like, okay. But I had one of them apologize, like, oh, sorry, sir. I'm like, I don't care. Like, let's just move on with the phone call. Because I don't care. But like, I have a son and I have 3 daughters for now. You know, I've always said my son, one of 2 outcomes. He's surrounded by sisters, and then he's got his mom. He's going to be one of the best men toward women ever, or he's going to be gay. He's surrounded by girls.
Yeah.
He goes and plays dolls with his 7-year-old sister so that she's not bored. He's either going to be one of the best men ever invented in history, or he's going to be gay.
Yeah.
He's fucking, and I don't care. But if my daughter were to come home one day and be like, you know what, I dress like a boy, I act like a boy, I think I'm going to be a boy now. Okay, then I have 2 sons. I don't give a shit. But I don't really get deep because, again, I don't understand either. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to make them feel bad for it. So I don't do, like, you get deeper into it than I do. And I commend you for that because you're very brave. I'm like, no. If I don't understand it, I don't closed off to it. But I also don't dig into it because I don't want to say the wrong thing. I'm supportive of whatever you want to do. You do you. Don't push it on me. You do you. And don't expect that I'm going to know what you are unless you tell me. Don't assume that I'm going to be able to walk up to you and be like, oh, okay, well, he's a guy today. How the hell am I supposed to know unless you're wearing a sign or you're literally telling everybody, I'm a guy today. Don't fucking assume that I'm going to know.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest issue that I have with it is they wait for people to call them the wrong thing, and then they're then they go on social media and this person called me a guy. Wearing like I feel like a dude today. I mean, how the hell was he supposed to know?
Exactly. And so
but that's why I do. Yeah, that's why I don't get into it.
Well, yeah, and it's become a bigger problem, I think, in society right now, because one of the biggest things that they hold on to, and they don't realize that it's a detriment to themselves, just the whole this whole little generation, and it's all the middle schoolers. Really, it's a lot of it is just the middle school age, because mine's in 7th grade. But it's they misgendered me. But just like you said, how the fuck are they? It changes every day.
Yeah.
How are they supposed to know what gender you are if you don't tell someone? So you can't get mad for being misgendered when one day you're a straight female, and then the next day you're a transgender, female to male transition, and then the day after that you're gender fluid, where you don't feel like a boy or a girl, you just feel like you.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to get upset with someone where it's your right to decide, but it's my right to use my words? And if I don't know, and I choose the wrong words, and they happen to offend you because you haven't informed me, I may not be the best parent in the world, but in those situations where my kid gets mad at me and, oh, you misgendered me, you mispronouned me or whatever, and I'm like, you know what, fuck you. Seriously?
Yeah.
you can't clarify it for me. You're going to hold that over my head and hold that against me. Goodbye. Like, go
Right,
somewhere. I don't
exactly.
have time for you. Like, I
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a real touch and go kind of thing. It's very dangerous ground. It's
yes.
very, very, very dangerous ground. It's like, and then of course, offend anyone. You want to show that you're supportive. So when you're trying to talk to someone, you say hi or you say hey you, and then they're going, I have a name. Not say the wrong thing. Yeah. So it's like it's always like hey you, hi, can I talk to you, kind of thing. But like that's why, and because of my job, I've started calling everyone they. Even even now in these kinds of conversations, unless it's my wife or my kids, it's always they or them. I never, I don't say he, she anymore. I can't do it. My mouth just does not allow me to do that when I'm talking about somebody else. How are they? Oh, well, she's good. How well do you know them? Like I'm not like, oh, they said she, so I'm gonna start saying she. Like, no, I stay with them, they and them. Because it's one of those, like, you and I are having this wonderful conversation, and believe it or not, like, I post these up every Saturday, and I don't have shit for viewers right now because I'm just bringing this back, but I'm terrified to post this. Like, is this going to come back to haunt us both? Should I edit this
Oh,
whole part out? Are you going to
yeah.
get in trouble at your job or me at my job if this video blows up and becomes the first viral one I've ever had? And it's like, oh my
Yeah.
God, they're attacking Nick and mugging me now. No, we're not. Not. Watch the whole video. We are supporting you. We just don't understand.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the shit thing is they can take two sentences from what we just said and it could be the end. It could be the end for both of us.
It could
And
paralyze everything. Like, am I gonna post the whole thing unedited? Fucking right I am. I'm just saying that there could be a shitstorm later on if someone decides to watch this and get a bug up their ass about it. Even though
yeah.
both of us are literally saying we're supporting everything that you're doing, we just don't get it.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
we're not gonna try to get it because there's too much to get. Figuring out when I was growing up, figuring out whether or not I was gay or straight was the most difficult thing I could ever fucking do. And I mean, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm 34 years old. I've been married to her for nearly a decade. I have children. I enjoy women, but I still don't fucking know. I really don't know. I could wake up when I'm 40 and be like, oh, my issue with women this entire time was that I was actually gay. That's cool. Like, I do not know. And I will
Right.
never know. But when I was growing up, that was the thing. Now imagine this shit. Dude, if I was growing up at 10 years old going, am I gay? Am I straight? Am I bi? Am I trans? Am I actually a girl? Like, does this thing belong on me? My head would explode. How the fuck are they
Mhm.
doing this? But they make it worse on themselves.
Yep.
Every day they make it worse on themselves
Hmm.
because they don't outwardly explain who they are and who they want to be. And then they assume that everyone is going to know who they are and who they want to be. I think social media and texting destroyed conversation.
I
There's
absolutely agree with you there. Yep.
there's no like what you and I are doing right now is the best form of human communication other than actually being face to face on the same couch. But people don't do this anymore. They
Right.
text where you can't pick up sounds and tones,
Hmm.
and they don't do face to face anymore because oh, I don't like how I look, or nah, I can use my voice however I want, but I don't like my face. And then you meet that person you've been texting forever in person, and you can't talk to them.
Hmm.
You can't. Like it's destroying everything, and then they're putting so much pressure on themselves and other people with this assumption shit. I can't do it, man. It's too much. I
No,
can't.
my brain melts when I try and
It's
think about it. It just,
yeah.
I get all fucked up because it's like I try so hard to, to support and to be understanding. But I look at them and I'm like, I didn't figure out who I was until I was in my late 30s. It's only
Right?
been a few years.
Right?
So
Exactly.
you put so much pressure on who you are when really your job right now, and I have to go because I have I have another call in 3 minutes. But
Yeah.
you put so much pressure on who you are that your job is to get through school. Your job is to not fail 7th grade. It's to get your homework done. It's to go to bed on time and brush your teeth and establish those routine things that lead you into adulthood
Yes.
where you can figure out who the fuck you are. But right now, so they put way too much on themselves, and that's a lot of the mental health, and this is the subject for a different conversation, but a lot of the
Oh, we'll
mental
talk
health
again.
issues,
This was fun.
yeah, absolutely. In today's day and age, and mental health, in my opinion, is kept severely under wraps, and it should be more public. But
Yes.
a lot of that stuff comes from the forcefulness of social media.
Yes.
And
It's the forcefulness of trying to get preteens to early teens to figure out who they are before they even know who they are.
Yep.
Figure out what they want to do before they even know what they want to do. The pressure of being internet famous. For Christ's sake, why?
Yeah.
Why? Why is that
Exactly.
a thing now? Why? If you don't have that blue check mark, you're nothing. So I'm not going to talk to you. Why?
Mhm.
Why the fuck is that a thing now?
I know.
That's a great way to end this. We do
That's perfect.
we do have to talk again though. This was awesome. Some
Yeah, this was
laughs, some
super fun.
serious talk. This was cool. So we'll definitely do this again.
Okay.
I post every Saturday. I've
Okay.
got there's 2 ahead of yours, but if I build up too many, I'm gonna end up posting twice a week. And I'll let you know when it's up. You can steal some shit from it to show other. I don't care how you
Okay.
if you decide to share it, promote it, whatever, or just keep it. I don't care if you keep it between us either. It was fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed this a
So
lot. Thank you so much, Cameron.
absolutely. All right,
I
enjoy
will.
your meeting.
Oh yeah, great. Thank you. It's a Zoom call, so hooray!
Woo, from this one to a next, from Skype to Zoom.
Exactly. Start
We're
to
moving up
Zoom.
in the world.
All right, I'll talk to you later, Cameron. Thank you. Bye.